Hello. Welcome back to another coffee and a chat. Right now, it's coming to the end of a very long day. When this comes up, it'll probably be the beginning of a whole new long day. But I had a few minutes, and I just thought I just want to stop, take a minute, take my fuzzy out. The humidity's kind of bit up, so I start frizzing out. Like cotton candy or something. I don't know. But anyway, there's something that I've been going to talk about and I haven't done it yet. Just because life is very, very full right now, which means it's overwhelming. And I don't know about you, but when I get overwhelmed and I've been really tired, I haven't been getting a full night's sleep, and I don't even know when. I sleep a few hours and then I am up. And once I'm up, I can't seem to go back to sleep. And then I fight being sleepy all day, but I can't really take a nap. And there's so much stuff going on that even if I could, there wouldn't be time. And I don't know. It starts making me feel just kind of easily emotional. We'll say that. Easily emotional. On the verge of tears, but they just don't quite come, And so this particular thing that I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to try to hold myself together and not get all emotional, but I don't want to keep putting this off because I want to tell you about my friend Becky. Even saying her name is getting to me. So over Mother's Day weekend, I got a call, I want to say from a little girl, because the last time I saw her, she was a little girl. And it was my friend Becky's little sister. Last time I saw her sister was probably 1977, and she was pretty young. I was pretty young, doggone it, compared to now. And cute to boot, I'm sure. Okay. Anyway, but in 1977, I got married and moved away from home. And I didn't see people from back home very much over the years that would follow. But anyway, I knew when there was a voicemail, because it had come from a number I didn't recognize, and I very seldom, unless I know somebody may be calling that won't be in my directory, if I get a call and it's not somebody that I know, then I a lot of times let it go to voicemail because, let's see, there's a problem with my social security number and they need me to confirm it, or my car thingy, whatever, that I don't have is about to expire, or my Amazon Prime account has been hacked that I don't have. And, it's just, I had too many scam calls, and I just don't have enough time to deal with all that too. So I don't answer those. And anyway, but a number came in that I didn't recognize, and I didn't answer it, and I went on and kept doing what I was doing, and then I came back and saw they'd left a message. So I listened to the message, and when it was my friend Becky's little sister that was leaving me a message, who I haven't seen in over 40 years, I knew it wasn't going to be good. And it wasn't. Well, it was and it wasn't. It wasn't because my only childhood friend that I have stayed in touch with all these years, the only one, and she was one of my very best friends, she had passed away. And I still have trouble wrapping my head around that, just doesn't seem like she can be gone. I mean, I'm even a few months older than she is. I was supposed to go first. And we sure weren't supposed to be going now. So yeah, it's just been, it was kind of hard. But the good part of it is, especially in the last few years, I know that Becky and I met at church. Our families went to the same church. We went to different schools for a while, but by the time we got to high school, we were in the same school. And we had met when we were like 9 years old and been friends ever since. We became really, you know how sometimes you meet that person who's just like instantly you're close friends? That was Becky. She was one of those in my life. She was really, really short. And I was really, really tall. And I'm sure we looked like quite the pair when we were little kids. But we met at church, and we both loved the Lord, and we shared a lot of experiences together. We went through a lot of things in life together, and Becky had gone through some things as an adult, just like I had. And sometimes those things can kind of, if we don't keep our focus on the Lord like we should, it can kind of drag us away. And that's kind of what happened with Becky, is I think she kind of, I don't think she got really horribly far away, but she felt the distance between her and God. And here, several years ago, she was talking to me about it, and how she just, more than ever in her life, she wanted to be close to the Lord. And she started a journey of getting back and getting as close to Him as she could possibly get. She worried over friends and family that she wasn't sure about spiritually, and she prayed for them and agonized over them, and we shared together about them. And yeah, I know that Becky was on a journey of building intimacy with Christ, and I have no doubt where my friend is. And so even though she's not here anymore, and I don't have her to talk to, and I don't know how to not have her there to talk to. I told her I loved her so much, I even had my first baby on her birthday. I did. I was way overdue. And she had been saying, oh, maybe you'll have it on my birthday. And I'm like, that's like almost 2 weeks past my due date. I hope not. I ended up having my baby on her birthday. So yeah, women tend to go over in our family anyway. And the doctor wasn't too worried about it. And he let me go. So yeah, so my firstborn was born on my friend Becky's birthday. And anyway, we were good friends, and all the way through all these years. And I miss her. I miss her a lot. And you know, I'm going through that thing where I can't take her phone number out of my phone, because it just takes me a while to be able to do that. I guess that's what really feels final for me. And anyway, I wanted to share with you some of my memories of things that Becky and I went through. Now, Becky and I were both pretty good girls, played by the rules, didn't want to rock the boat. We were both middle children. Yeah, we weren't out there doing daring things. And, you know, we had siblings that would, you know, do daring things and, you know, sneak out of the house or whatever. But we wouldn't dare do that, because we knew we'd get caught, and then what would happen? And, you know, so we were a lot alike in that. But when we were in high school, we decided to be really daring one day. There was a movie out. I don't even remember what the movie was, some popular movie, and it was an R rating on it. So you had to have somebody, did they have to be 18 or 17 or something? Anyway, that, you know, that would take you into the movie. You couldn't just go in on your own if you were under whatever the age was. I can't remember now if it was 17 or 18. But I know it was just before my birthday, and I would soon be old enough to get us into the movie. And so it was she and I think my younger brother and we decided to try to sneak into the movie. Now, we didn't, because Becky and I we weren't scared. Now, my younger brother, he probably would have gone in the back door, like we knew lots of kids that would have somebody let them in, but Becky and I, we would never have done that. But what it was, I can't remember how we did that. Because we couldn't find somebody to take us into the movie, and we knew we couldn't ask our parents because we knew we weren't supposed to go see whatever this movie was. But everybody was seeing it, and everybody was talking about how great it was, and we wanted to see it. And I don't remember what we did. I almost want to say that I think one of the kids that sold tickets at the movie theater, that we knew them, and they went ahead and sold us the tickets and let us in. I think that's what happened. It wasn't anything too terribly daring, but for Becky and I, that was so scary, and we were doing something so terrible, and the whole time we're sitting in the movie theater, we're worried that somebody is going to come through and find out we don't belong in there, and we don't have anybody of age with us, and the movie I don't even remember what the movie was, except we were like, that was dumb. We didn't even like the movie. But we just felt like such bad girls. We'd done something so daring. And so then in a month or two, I had my birthday, and then I was old enough to get us into R-rated movies. And so then there was another movie, which I do remember what this one was, but I'm not going to say. And it was just... okay, I will say, it was that... now I can't think of the name of it, but it was made after a song. And, this isn't going well. Anyway, our parents did not want us to see this movie. They had heard some things about it, that it had some questionable sexual content. I think that's what it was. And it did. And it had things in there that was beyond things that Becky and I knew. But we got an education when we watched the movie and regretted it. We came out of there just feeling yucky and wishing we'd never watched the movie. And you know how it is that, it's one of those things, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And so anyway, it was yeah. That was our daring. But then we had our spiritual side. Okay, so that was our bad girl side. Then our daring, or our spiritual side, was we had read Cross and Switchblade. And we both loved that book. And we thought Nicky Cruz just must be the coolest guy ever. And he was coming to our town where we lived, and he was going to be speaking at a church. So we asked our parents if we could go hear him. It was free and everything. And so our parents all decided, yeah, that would be fine. We could go. And it was on a weeknight, and it would be dark before we got out. But anyways, one of our parents dropped us off, and they want to know, okay, well, what church is this at? And when we told them, they're like, okay. And we both knew that it seemed like something funny was going on, the way we got the okay from our parents and the look they exchanged, but we didn't know what was going on. And so now you got to understand, we were two very conservative little Baptist girls. That's the way we were raised. And that was our life. And that's what we knew. Now, where Nicky Cruz was speaking that night was at a United Pentecostal church. We didn't even know what Pentecostal was. And I remember asking my mom, and she's kind of like, you'll see. So whoever dropped us off. And we went in, and it was a pretty big church, as I remember, and we were so excited to be there, and there were lots of people there. So we went right up front. And so we're sitting there, and pretty soon, somebody comes out and gets on the organ, and they start, doing their music. And we're up front going, oh my goodness, what is going on? It wasn't like when they did music at our church. And so we were like trying to figure it out. And then they, when they brought Nicky Cruz out, because we're hanging in there, because we're going to see him. Then when he comes out, we couldn't hear him. We're right up front. He's got a microphone, but we could not hear him because everybody else in the church was speaking loudly with weird things, and they were speaking in tongues, but we didn't know what that was. And it just was like, and then people were running up and down the aisles, and there was all kinds of strange going ons, and here we are right up front, and pretty soon Becky is like, do you want to go? Because I can't even hear him, and I don't know what these people are doing. It's kind of freaking me out. And I'm like, I know, but we're right up front, and everybody will see us when we get ready to go. And so we, how do you sneak out from the front? Well, you know what? It ended up being no big deal, because after a while, we just went ahead and walked out. But nobody ever seemed to really notice we were there. And it was dark outside already, and we had to go. We knew we were going to have to ride the city bus home. Only we left early from the church service, which still we'd been in there a long time, and it wasn't lining up. We had like a half-hour wait for the bus stop, and so this kid we knew from school came by, and he's like, what are you guys doing out here? And we're like, we got to catch the bus to go home. And he's going, well, I'm heading down to the transfer station where, at the hub where all the buses come into. And, and we would have, if we got on the bus there at the church, we would have gone to the transfer station, had to get our transfer to get on the bus to take us home. And so, he said, why don't I just take you to the transfer station, and then you can just catch the next bus home. He goes, I'd take you, but I'm not going that way. And so we're like, that's great. So this kid gave us a ride down there, and then we were able to get on a bus and go home. And the whole time, we went to my house, and then my mom was going to drive Becky home afterwards. And so we got there, and we were there before our curfew. And because they'd given us a later curfew that night, because they go, I'm sure that church is going to probably go pretty long. And we're like, really, you think? Because we're used to, church lasts an hour and it's done. And I think we were there. I think we hung in there for a couple of hours, but they still were going. And so then it was, what'd you girls think about it? No, my mom, she was just laughing at us as we're trying to explain to her what happened, even though we didn't know. It was something else. But that was Becky's and my experience. And then here, a few months ago, Becky and I were talking about when we were at camp when we were in junior high. And, Becky goes, I remember they showed this movie, A Thief in the Night. And I go, yeah, I remember when they showed that movie. And she goes, man, I was so worried that I wasn't right with God, man. I ran down that aisle. I go, I know, I did too. We were like going, oh yeah, we forgot. We had both been sitting there, and we didn't even look at the other person. We just took off down that aisle because we just wanted to make sure we were right with God, because that movie scared us to death. But that was Becky and I. We had a double date one night, and the guys never showed up to take us to, we were supposed to be going to a football game. They never showed up. And so then my dad was like, do you want me to take you? And we're like, no, we decided we'd go do something else. And then we teased each other, about which one of us was so ugly that the guys didn't want to show up. Only it wasn't that. Because we found out later what had happened, and, and it was stupid stuff. And the one kid they were coming from another town, and the one kid got in trouble and grounded. And back then, there wasn't cell phones or anything, and he wasn't allowed to call on the phone, so they couldn't call and tell us. And, when I first heard the story, when he was telling me what happened, I was like going, I'm not sure. But two of his sisters were good friends of ours, and they were like, they confirmed it. That's exactly what happened. So, and the one sister said, I thought about calling you guys, but I figured, you'd figure it out. And she could have called us because she was over 18. She just still lived at home. And so she could use the phone when she wanted. Everybody else had to have permission. And it would have been a long distance phone call. And she would have had to pay for it, and, long distance. And probably a lot of you are like, what is a long distance phone call? Yeah. See, if you called outside of your town, you used to have to pay extra money to make the call. And out of your area code was even more expensive. Yeah. And our phones were attached to the walls, and and you had to dial them or punch in the numbers, but wasn't no cell phone, that's for sure. In fact, I always think about if somebody had told me back then that one day I could carry my phone around in my pocket, I would have been like, what? Like, how would that even work? Or that you could see a person's face, well, that was like, in sci-fi movies. But, surely would never be able to do that. I mean, how could you afford the technology and all? But anyway, I just wanted to share a little bit about my friend Becky. And she will be dearly, dearly missed. We went through a lot of things together. A lot of things I can't share because it's not just my story. And yeah, there's just, some things. But Becky and I, we were always there for each other. We had other friends too, but when it really came down to the really deep stuff, we had each other and we had each other's backs. We used to give each other permission. If you're ever stuck in a jam and you need to have a fake name to protect your identity, you can use my name. So I would use her name or she would use mine, if we ever got... We had wild imaginations. Anyway, I love Becky so much. And I am so thankful to the Lord for having brought us into each other's lives and all the years that we shared together. We both went through some rocky, we each had a rocky marriage that we went through together. We each went through divorces. She went through hers before mine, and so she really helped me through that. And yeah, just a lot of things. And I guess I'm just going to close with this. Those people that you love, that are in your life and mean something to you, don't take them for granted. Because in just the blink of an eye, they could be gone. So make sure that everybody that you love and that is important to you knows what they mean to you. And with that, I'm gonna go finish dinner and let puppies in and hopefully be able to just kind of relax a little bit. And maybe tonight I'll get a full night's sleep. That would be something. All right. I love you guys. You take care. Make sure you're staying in the Word and reading it and allowing the Holy Spirit to explain things to you and to guide you in it and show you what He wants you to get out of it. And keep pressing in to have that relationship closer with the Lord. Yep. Deborah, I believe that's your name. I think you're a new subscriber, but you left me some comments the other day, and just want to remind you that I'm praying for you. I know what it is to go through hard, troubling times. I know what it is to have loss. I know what it's been in my life. And so I feel for you, but I also know that God, His grace is sufficient. And whatever it is that we've got to get through, He's the one that gets us through it. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.